Hey guys, I know we said we were done for the year, but we have one last little surprise for you. We sat down with two of our very good friends, John and Poom, to record a special bonus show for our patrons. But since it's the season of giving and all that malarkey, we thought it might be fun to release the first 14 or so minutes of the show to our non-patron listeners too. Ain't that special? Now keep in mind our bonus shows are a bit more freewheeling and improv-based and often have some spicier language than normal, although there's nothing here that'll make your hair turn white. So enjoy this special preview, and if you want a bit more Bangkok Podcast in your inbox, become a patron and get a bonus show like this every week. Happy holidays, everyone, and see you back here in the new year. Keep an eye on it, I guess.
I think we just need to buy more expensive gear. That's always the answer.
It is the answer. It is the answer.
In my life.
Well, patrons, this is a special year-end Christmas, New Year, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah episode just for fun, because why not? We thank you for your support. We thought it would be fun to do one more, squeeze it in before the end of the year is over, as ends of years usually do become over. So I'm here with Ed. Ed, say hello to our listeners.
Hello.
And we are also here with two of our very old, very good friends, John and Poom. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
We're so happy to be part of this almost over Bangkok podcast experience. This is
Sounds like the podcast is doomed to
ending
fail.
this year on a high note. I feel like we're going out on a high note.
I'm good.
You're good?
I'm glad it we almost end of the year.
Has it been a particularly bad year?
Listener, just in case you're wondering, Boom is a genuine, real live Thai person.
Yeah. And it's funny, we were just talking about this a few minutes ago, and some of the feedback we've gotten in the survey and things that we've done is our listeners would like to hear from more regular Thai people, which we'd love to do. It's just, finding them who they are and what they want to talk about.
Regular. Boom is a very special person.
No, I'm as regular as you can get.
Is that true?
I also I think I'm going to point out that her certificate of authentication is on file for inspection at the Bangkok Podcast offices. During business hours, during regular business hours.
That's right.
She is a regular person.
I got that at the same place I bought my yachting license.
Same place I got my driver's license, but I'm trying to keep that on the down low.
You're going to be riding that high for months.
Is it going to be like a new girlfriend, like every opportunity? Say, that's like the time I got my driver's license. Like I have nothing to do. Nothing to do.
Well, it's kind of sad when it's one of your major accomplishments. Like, when you bump into someone you haven't seen in a while, they're all like, what's going on? And like, I got a driver's license. That's it.
But you're going to be that guy where people are going to be like, oh, I just got this diagnosis. I don't want to go into it, but I've got to go. I'm going to be at the hospital every week. I'm like, how are you getting there? Driving yourself? Do you need a lift? Just going to insinuate it at every turn.
It's a big deal.
We're flying to Japan on Wednesday. We might need a ride to the airport if you don't mind.
I can do that now. Cool. Legally, I can do that.
Hey, we were just talking about Thai tongue twisters. John, I never heard the one that you threw out.
No, so I cannot do any actual Thai tongue twisters. I know I can. How do I put it? I can mangle them, the beginning of them, just not badly enough that a Thai person will know which one I'm invoking.
Okay.
Like gin puak tit fan, gin man tit nuak, da 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 da.
That's a pretty good one.
How do you say it?
Actually,
like
I can't even say that myself. กินมันกินมันติดเหงือกกินเผือกติดฟัน Yes.
But then it goes on and on, right?
Yeah,
There's like
it goes on and on. I don't remember that.
So it's like eat grease, it gets stuck in your teeth. Eat sweet potatoes, it gets stuck in your gums.
Something like that.
This,
yeah.
And it goes on and on. So I have tried to make up my own Thai tongue twisters over the years. So the one that I was talking about before that red light went on was one that. So it's all the gon and gin and gan all together, and it translates as, the only way I can remember it is, let's shave the ass together before we eat the ass together. And
because that is very common in our culture to eat ass. Yeah.
Gon gan gon gin gon gan, something like that.
Yeah,
right?
that's pretty close.
Boom,
yes.
Can you say Boom? Can you say it?
gon gan. That's shave the ass
together.
Together. Well, yeah, together. The gun word.
The
yes.
gun, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Gon gan.
Gone.
Let's do that.
Right. Before
ก่อน
we eat it together.
ก่อนกินกัน ก้นกันก่อนกินกัน
That's amazing.
So
That's,
yeah.
So that's one I made up. And the other one was this simple one, which is om cha'at, om cha cha ti cha'am.
Oh my god. That's difficult.
So
cha-cha.
How did you learn that?
so cha'am is like a plant, right? Om is to put something in your mouth. Like Luke om is a sucking candy.
Okay, if it hasn't become clear yet, John's Thai is significantly better than Ed's or I.
True that.
And so om cha om would mean to sort of keep cha om in your mouth, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Cha cha slowly in Cha'am, which is a province, right?
Yep.
You put a lot of thought into this.
Yeah. I said before
Om
I authenticated Poom's actual Thai-ness and decided to marry her. I spent a lot of time by myself. So this is the kind of thing that I would
Is
mull.
it how you entertain yourself?
This is
really?
how I would, yeah.
You should have told me before we got married.
He has other ways to do that, but this is the one we're allowed to talk about.
I knew John before you did Poom, and this was the highlight of his evenings, of weekends. A lot of times was staying.
Well,
inside.
John has been a guest on the podcast before, correct?
Yeah, it must have been season 4 or 5. You talked about Pachacucha.
No, Bombix.
No, Bombix. Sorry.
Yeah,
But I've also been a
Bonus.
a patron bonus. I was at Ed's place, right?
that's right. We did a bonus episode. That's correct.
Right. But
And one here during COVID, we did a COVID episode. That we did a virtual. taping.
yeah, right.
During COVID, I was on.
I've completely forgotten that. I blanked on that one.
It's funny when we do this. We do this every week, and I say sometimes we'll get an email from one of our listeners, which we always love, where they're like, "You remember in episode 22, you said that thing about the thing?" I'm like, nope.
Yeah,
I have no idea what you're talking about. Once we're done recording an episode, it's gone.
I read somewhere that George R. R. Martin is constantly putting up with this. They're
really?
like, in chapter 3 of Dance of the Dragons, you say this, but it's clear,
Right.
Chapter 18 of, Song of Swords. And it's like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
That must be so odd when you create something, which obviously you care about because you created it, but then other people take it way too seriously.
Yeah.
That's funny. So, Poom, you are one of my oldest friends in Thailand.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
We know each other for
16 years.
yes.
Wow.
I met you through another friend of mine, Mango, whom I met on MySpace, if that gives you any.
Oh, that's old school. That is old school.
Yeah. And we used to hang out a lot at the old Coyote Mexican restaurant on Soy Convent,
Soy Convent, yes.
right? Which is
You
where
used to be coyote dancers? Is that what you said?
close. Not there. We used to go across the street to Pat Pong and do the coyote dancing.
I see. Okay.
But we used to do the coyote eating at the restaurant.
Right.
Actually, the same place where I met my wife.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is not there anymore. It's been bulldozed and replaced with a tall building. But yeah, so it's funny that I've known John about the same length of time, maybe a bit long, 18 years.
2005, I met.
Right. So I knew both of you, but separately.
Separately.
And then because of my devious machinations, you two came together and got married.
Amazing.
It's just funny that, you guys probably have the same experience, but you have so many friends here or acquaintances. And I don't know, they never meet. I know so many people that I don't see. I see them once every 5 years. And there just seems to be multiple. When I was in high school, we called it bubbling. Like I have the jock bubble.
True
I got
that.
my drama nerd bubble.
Right.
My computer team bubble.
But you are the connector. You are,
you're
Greg,
the
you are
overlapper.
known as, that is your reputation
Yes,
in
At
Bangkok.
least back in the day.
You
At least
are-
back in the day.
I am known as the connector the same way I used to be known as the skinny Greg.
Right.
Like, there was a time when I was the connector, but once you get married and have a kid, that kind of smashes.
Well,
into a brick wall.
the other asterisk is that even though there's all these different bubbles of foreigners in Thailand, or it doesn't have to be foreigners, there's not many degrees of separation.
Right.
Like I'll have 2 separate bubbles and find out that actually some of those bubble members know each other. They're part of some other bubble that I'm not part of.
An anti-ed bubble.
That's right.
No, I was walking down Sukhumvit and I ran into Greg, and you were with 3 other people. I wish I could remember who they were.
When was this?
Long time. 12 years ago or something. 13 years ago.
I definitely.
No, it wasn't. But the only thing that stood out to me was that I knew each of the 3 people that you were with. I already knew them, but I knew them from distinct.
Oh, 3
I did
separate
not know
bubbles.
them. I did not know them through you. I didn't know that they knew each other.
Right.
And then they
Right.
all knew you.
That's
There's
so
not
funny.
many degrees of separation in the kind of English speaking. So it's expats plus English speaking Thais. Like it's a smaller group than you would think.
Right. That's
Check it out. Isn't it a nice
that's a great picture. Yeah.
Oh, it's very
Oh,
good.
nice.
Wallpaper of my wife and son.
takes a great picture. Not that she's not gorgeous in real life, but she also...
No, Thai women in general are the most photogenic
Yeah.
people on planet Earth.
Yeah, we were talking about this on the way over.
Yeah.
Tairup. But it's not... You have the expression Tairup kun, right? Which means like, you look better in pictures.
Yeah.
Oh, and I've never heard that.
Tairup kun, yeah. That's not what I'm saying.
Oh, that's the equivalent
that
of
is not what I'm
photogenic.
saying.
That's the equivalent of photogenic.
Yeah. But it's almost like you look better in pictures, right? I always
Yes,
look
almost
at-
like
yeah,
that. Sometimes
right.
we go like, are you like, is it a compliment?
Yeah.
You look better in pictures. Is that a compliment?
Right?
I don't think it is. No.
I've heard you have a face for radio or podcasts. That's what I hear quite a lot. So, one thing I wanted to talk about, I just wanted to put this out there because I have, again, these bonus shows are not scripted, but I was really thinking about, since this is kind of a year-end show, let's talk about the past year in Bangkok. And I don't know about you guys, but I barely remember what I did last week. I don't know
Right.
what I was doing at the beginning of the year. So I went online, and we're recording this on December, what's the date today, 16th? And I typed in like Thailand, Bangkok, year of 2023, best of 2023, year in review kind of things. And I couldn't get anything. Maybe it probably comes out the last week of the month or the year, probably. Maybe a bit too early for that. But I did get a Wikipedia page that said things that happened in Thailand in 2023. So I thought maybe I just pulled a couple of interesting things from there that we could discuss just for shits and giggles and get your insight into them. And
Sure.
not all of them are funny or cool. Some of them are weird and geeky. Like the first one in January, it said Thailand records its lowest birth rate in 71 years.
I did not know that.
71 years?
I know that this is a problem in Asia in general.
Yeah.
Not enough babies.
Maybe
in
it's a
Japan.
simpler problem. There's not enough birth recorders.
Well, I
just a
always
huge
think
backlog.
That's a trend,
know,
right?
It's a
Thailand
trend
has
in
been
Asia for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to, keep it like under like 1% or something for so long.
Well, you need, I think the number is like 2.3 births per
2.1, I think, is the
2.1.
minimum.
the
Is the
2.3
minimum.
to keep the population growing or
Yeah.
something. It's all
But
Charlie's fault, who we've had on the show from Cabbages and Condoms when he introduced
Yes.
the condom drive in Thailand in the
He's a
80s.
famous condom guy.
Yeah, the
That's
condom
what we
king.
call him.
Yeah, yeah.
But aren't certain Asian nations, I thought, were taking active like policy steps to encourage
They are.
more? But is Thailand doing anything like that? Not that I've...
Just recently,
Yeah.
only this year, that there's news and people like, well, look at the economy. You want us to have more kids, but
Right.
it doesn't help like in the economy like this.
So what practical? I mean, are they offering tax incentives or?
They must be doing something like that.
They just make
or
like announcement
help.
like let's have more kids.
I think Singapore is famous for 10 or 15 years ago. They actually had an ad campaign
Right.
encouraging romance and dating and sex. And
Right, but
child.
but are they subsidizing Netflix or something
Yeah,
to like get
right.
people
Yeah,
to stay
that's right.
home?
There's no plan.
You
They're
know, are
talking
they-
about
It
they-
must be tax breaks for kids. That's the most
they're
obvious
talking
thing.
about it, but there's no plan in place yet.
Because all I know what the Thai government does is around Valentine's Day, Songkran, Loi Krathong, all they do is like put police in front of the short time motels to stop kids from going in.
All those guys have to, all they got to do is keep those,
there's like
They should relax this rule.
yeah,
Yeah,
those
they
guys
should
stay
relax
home
this
for
Leave them alone.
stay home for Valentine's Day and Loi Krathong. Problem solved.
they panic. There's a panic. There's a Valentine's Day panic about young people having sex.
Well, we were told that Loi Krathong actually was. We were told by a young, authentic Thai friend that Loi Krathong is actually the number one occasion for losing virginity.
Really? Because we were
That
talking.
we
more-
just talked about
Yes.
Greg and I had never heard that.
More so than Valentine's.
Greg and I had never heard that.
Yeah.
We talked about that.
No,
on the
this dates back to the old day before Valentine became more popular.
Was it?
Before we
Was it?
adopted Valentine. This is something like, 50, 30, 60 years ago.
Gotcha.
This is the only occasion that, men and women can meet,
Oh, okay. So it was Valentine's Day before Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Interesting. So it was that would be Loi Krathong, the original Valentine's Day.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
When you were growing up, was it a thing? Like, oh, you better meet a boy.
Yeah,
today?
it was actually
Really?
long. Well, this is like you go out at night, you have this romantic like katong, and then you're supposed to,
Well, it's kind
go
of a romantic
together.
thing. It's a beautiful
Yeah.
event.
That's what I
Sure.
said when
Full
we discussed
moon.
it. It's
Yeah.
much more romantic than Valentine's Day, which is what, a rose and a chocolate that they charge you 4 times the normal price for.
Right.
Floating a candle is free.